Hi everyone, Nuxtjs seems to be one of the best framework available out there. It has like all the features of Vue.js and it is also so much nice with new features like server-side rendering and all the other cool stuff that comes with Nuxtjs. So in this video series, we'll be learning how we can get started with Nuxtjs and we'll be learning different features which we can use with our Nuxtjs application. So without delay, let's get started. So in order to create and build a Nuxtjs application, we need to have Node.js installed on our system. And you can go to nodejs.org website and you can download latest LTS version. At the moment, it is 18.17. When you are watching this video, it might be something else. So don't worry, just download a LTS version with whatever the version number it's mentioned. Doesn't matter. And after that, in order to follow some later part of the series, we need to have Git installed. So it's always better to download the Git and install if you don't have it, but if you have it, then it's fine, you can use it. So after that, we can go to this nuxtjs.com website, and in this website we'll be finding documentation related to all the Nuxtjs features and things which is available for us. So if I just click on docs, we'll be able to see all the information related to it, but I would like to just show you getting started part of this documentation teaches about all the Nuxtjs theoretical features, and if you click on installation, it will just let you know like how you can install it. It's very easy command. Just type npx nuxi at latest init and whatever the project name which you want, you can give. So I'll be teaching you, don't worry about it. So next thing is in order to even get more details, you can click on guide, and in this guide you will be able to see all the different things related to Nuxtjs which we'll be learning. So don't worry about it. I'm just telling you to see this so that you will be able to refer on your own if you need to implement some new features. So without delay, let me just go to getting started and installation and keep this page open. So we'll be able to refer it whenever we need to do something. First, I would like to go to my files explorer, and here I have created Nuxt folder in my learning folder. So you can also create one folder in yours, and once you create a folder, then you can right click on it and click on open in terminal. So in order to just make sure you have Node.js installed, just type node -- version, and if you enter it, immediately it will show Node.js version. If you can't see this, or if you are not able to run this particular command, that means Node.js is not properly installed. Let me just open up the documentation again to see the command which we will be running. That would be here npx nuxi at latest init and project name. You can give whatever the project name you want. I'll just give something like my hello world, so that this is our hello world project, and we'll be learning in this particular project only pretty much. So it will take while. You just have to click yes so that it will install whatever it is required. So now the Nuxtjs project is created, and if I just do ls, here we can see hello world project. And also I forgot to mention, you need to download VS Code also if you don't have it. So I'll be using this editor, and if you want to use some other editor, it's fine, but I would recommend highly to use this VS Code editor. Just go to code.visualstudio.com and download it. You might probably have it. So once you are done with it, you can see one project file is created here, and so now let me just open VS Code. If you don't have it, just go ahead and install it. After that, I'll just drag this folder here. Once it's done, we'll be able to see this page, and I'll just click on trust. Yes, I trust author. So this is our Nuxtjs project directory. So this is a Node.js project. So obviously we need to do npm install. So let me just go to terminal, new terminal. And here I can write any kind of npm related command. So let me just increase the screen little bit so that you can see the commands properly. I'll just type npm install, and it will take some time for it to finish loading and install all the required dependency. That time we'll just look into the folder structure here. Nuxtjs comes with very simple folder structure. It just includes public folder which doesn't have anything. Then after that, there is server directory which we'll be able to use some server related functions and all. And there is nothing pretty much. There is one packet.json which will be important for Node.js project. Then after that, there will be app.vue which will be very simple, and we'll be removing it in a while. So let me wait until this particular installation get done. So once installation is done, it will create one new folder named node modules. We don't have to touch it at all. Then there will be something like package lock.json, which also will not be touching at all. So then it will ask something related to like collecting information. I'll just click on no, and once that's done, the Nuxtjs folder is created here. That is .nuxtjs folder, which is like our compiled version of it. So that's why we don't have to worry about this folder also. So at the moment, I'll just run this particular project, and running this project it's very easy. npm run dev. So once I do it, it will create a development server and run it. So I'll just click on allow access. So once that's done, our Nuxtjs project is running, and we can view it by going to localhost 3000. And here we can see the Nuxtjs project is created, and it will show one welcome page. So we can see this welcome page coming from app.view. So let me just remove pretty much everything here and save it so that it will give some error saying app.view doesn't exist. Here we can just type a template, and inside template we can just type a h1, and I'll just type a hello world and save it. The moment I do that and come here, it will directly show me hello world. That means we are successfully able to execute this app.vue.js file, and we'll be able to see the output related to it. We created this hello world project, and we can see this is how it looks like when it's executed. So if you are not running your Nuxtjs project, you can just type npm run dev, and it will execute your Nuxtjs project, and you will be able to see this output. Next thing we can do is we are just going to delete this particular app.vue folder. Once we do it, let me just stop this particular thing, and after that we can just create one new folder named pages, and henceforth we'll be creating all the pages inside this particular directory only. So in order to create the main index page, at the moment if I refresh, it won't show anything because I have stopped the server here, and inside this particular pages we can just create a index.view. So in this particular index.view, whatever we type, it will be shown directly inside localhost colon 3000. That is our index route. Here we'll go and we'll create a template, and inside this if I just go ahead and type home page and save it, and let me just run this particular project again by typing npm run dev, and here we go. If I refresh it, it is going to show that particular so we can see home page here. Next thing is, in order to create something like about page, you can click on this particular pages and right click on it actually, and create a about.view. And here also same thing, template is just Vue.js, guys. So if you don't know about Vue.js, don't worry about it. I'll teach you more whenever we are doing some things in this particular page. But I'll be focusing more on Nuxt.js, so I'll be skipping like what is template and all. In Vue.js, template means it's just like whatever thing we'll be able to render in this particular page, which we can see. So that's what template is about. So inside this, I'll just type h1 and here type about page and save it. Once I do that, I can just go to about slash here, and I'll be able to see about page. So if I go back, I'll be able to see home page. But the thing is, I want to do something like from home page, I want to have one link which goes to about page. Now you might think I'll just put a tag here, and here I'll type something like go to about page and save it, and here I'll just type slash about. So if I do something like this, now if you can see, this entire page got refreshed when I went to this particular page. So if I just click on it, just look at this particular icon here, entire page got refreshed. Now the thing is, when page is this much small, that is just having one h1 tag with the about page, that time you might not feel that much difference. But if this was like entire big page with all the navigation, images, everything would have been refreshed, and in order to just change this home page to about page, everything would have been refreshed and everything needed to be reloaded. So instead of that, we can use something like I'll just erase entire thing and type something like NuxtLink, and I can type same like how I wrote that time, go to about page. Instead of href, I can just give 2, and inside this particular 2, I'll just type about. So now if I just save it and if I click on this particular link, you can clearly see there is no refresh, and you can see this icon again if you want. I'll just click on it. There is no refresh, nothing, because this uses a single page application technology. which is the famous thing which we can do with Vue.js. Same thing can be done with Nuxt.js also. Benefit of that is we don't have to reload entire page. When we click on about page, we'll be just able to see the changes in about page only. Entire page won't be getting refreshed. So that's cool thing about Nuxt.js. And now you might wonder, from where do this NuxtLink is coming from? We didn't import anything. In JavaScript, in order to get something like this, we need to import it, right? That's the best feature of Nuxt.js. We don't have to import this particular thing. By default, whenever we are using this, it is auto imported, and we won't see it in this file, but it's available for us to use in this particular file. So now if you are seeing this and if you are trying to do it in Vue.js, you have to import whatever the router link which is available in that. But in Nuxt.js, we don't have to do it. That's the benefit of using Nuxt.js over Vue.js, because we don't have to auto import something. So just to make sure, we'll just go ahead and here also we'll just put something like NuxtLink, and here I'll just type go to home, and I'll just put a 2, and 2 will be just slash here. So if I just click on go to home about page, we are in about page. If I just click back, it will take me back to the home page. So that's it for this video, guys. We just learned how we can create more pages. You can create how much ever pages you want, and if you want to nest some pages, that also you can do. Something like if I just go here and type something like users, and here something like view all dot view, and if I just type a template, and let me just go here and type something like a user view and save it, I can now go to slash users slash view all, and it will show user view, because even with the whatever the folder which you put inside here, that folder can be directly accessed in the browser without any kind of extra setup we have to do. So I'll just delete this particular users, but I just wanted to show you that that can be done. We'll be learning more about routing and routing parameters in Nuxt.js. So if you go to this particular localhost slash 3000, here if I just type something like users slash 1, now I have to make sure that this 1 displays user information related to first user. And if I just go here 2 and 3 and 4, how much ever, all those things should dynamically display. At the moment, if I just go to about page, it will just show about page only. I won't be able to randomly change related to something else. So in order to do that, we can directly go here and create one folder named users, and inside this particular user I can create new file named, it will be little bit different. It will have something like id.view. So create it exactly like this, that is square bracket, and put id inside it and a dot view. So if you create it exactly like this, we'll be able to do some cool stuff. So I'll just create one template here and just type user page, and if I just save it, and if I go here to users slash 1, I just have to make sure the server is restarted. So I'll just restart it once. So I can see here user page. So now if I just want to get that particular ID in the top inside my project and display it something like user page 1 or 2 or whatever the ID which is mentioned here. In order to do that, I can just go to this place that is about template, and I can write something like a script setup. So here you can clearly see this is a script tag, normal JavaScript tag, and here I just wrote one setup which will allow us to use some advanced feature related to Vue.js. So once that's done, in order to get that particular user ID, we can directly type something like a const route is equal to user route. And next thing we can do is, in order to get that particular user ID, we can directly go here, and in Vue.js, if we add double curly braces, that means we can use this particular route to display whatever the number which is available. So I'll just type route dot params dot id. This ID is exactly same as whatever the ID which is mentioned here. So I'll just save it, and the moment I go here, it will show 2. So if I just change it to 100 maybe, it will directly show user page 100. So this will be very useful to use this route.params.id to get information related to second or third or fourth user. And this is one of the best feature which we have available here, so that we can directly get the routing parameter here inside our template, that is route.params.id. Here if I just type something like search is equal to ABC. So in order to get this particular query parameter, we can directly use something like route.query. Let me type it properly. Query.search. And if I save it, it will just show ABC because we have wrote here ABC. If I just change it to something like something, it will directly show me something. So this also is very useful feature for building bigger projects. And when you are building actual project, you will be able to use this for maybe searching something or maybe displaying user related details and all. So just remember, if you just type const route is equal to useRoute and use that particular route to get query and whatever the parameter which you have wrote here, and also route.params will be able to give you ID or whatever you wrote in this particular ID page. Now that we have multiple pages in our application and we'll be able to see something like localhost 3000, and if I just click on it, about page, and there is another user page also. Now we can focus on making sure we have one navigation button which takes us to all the different places which our application will take us. So in order to do that, I'll just create one layout folder here so that we'll be able to add navbar inside it. I'll just click on layouts and if I just type something like a default.view, I'll be able to create one template here also same way. And if I just type h1 and write something like header and save it. Now if I just go here, it will not display anything because we don't. But if I just type something like slot here and /save. Now if I refresh, still it won't display anything. That happens with Nuxtjs, so don't worry about it. Whenever something like that happens, that you wrote code and still it's not displaying here, you just go here and press Ctrl C. That will stop the server and again run whatever the command which you ran, that is npm run dev. So now the server will restart and if I just refresh it again, it will show header. So this header will be common for all the pages. So this place would be better to create some kind of navigation bar. So how do I do this? We can create multiple Nuxtjs links. So NuxtLink, and here I can type something like home, which will just go to / that is the home page, and I'll just copy it 2 more times, and here I'll type something like about, and I can go to about, and maybe here we can do something like users /1, which will take to users. Okay, I'll just save it. So here if I click on home page, it will take me to home page, and if I click on about page, it will take me to about page, and here users page will take me to users page. So this is simple enough. But now just think that in order to add navigation bar, we would have to create very big navigation bar with all the details and all. So in order to do that, writing this inside this particular template of default layout is not that great idea. So how do we fix it? We can create one components folder, and inside this particular components folder we can create new file named header.view, and inside this file we can move all these things, and here we'll paste that NuxtLink thing. And once I do that, if I just go to default, here there is nothing, and if I refresh, it won't show anything. But I can add this particular header. So here we can just import that particular header by typing header and /, and if I just save it here, it will import it. So if I click on users page, it will display users, and home page it will display home, just like how it was before. Only difference is we don't have to put anything inside this particular default folder, and we can create the component in this particular page. As always, you might wonder why we don't have to import it. Because we are using Nuxtjs, whatever we create inside this particular component components folder, we don't have to import it. So now in order to explain you even more better way, I'll just create a footer.view, and here inside footer I'll just type a template, and inside here I'll just add a p tag, and here I'll just type copyright Manjunath Shenoy and save it, and let me just go to default page, that is default layout, and here I'll just type footer / save it, and it will show footer in all the pages. No matter where we go, it will show footer because we have created it in default. Now let me just create another layout named admin.view, and here I'll just type template, and I'll just put h1 with the admin layout. So I'll just save it, and as always let me just stop the server and run it again, and if I just refresh it, it won't show admin page because it will be in admin layout, not the default layout. So now let me just show you that how we can include some layout which is not default layout. This is about page, and I want to make sure admin layout is included. In order to do that, I'll just create a script setup here also. Inside this script tag, I'll just type define a page meta, and inside this I'll just type layout, and if I just type layout colon, it will show me what and all layouts are available inside this layout folder, and I'll just select admin and I'll save it, and here if I just go and refresh, it won't show because in admin page there is no slot. So I'll just create one slot here so that we can use this layout, and if I just refresh again and go to about page, here we can see admin layout, and this is about page. If I just go to home page, here you can see the default layout which includes navigation bar, but in about page there is only admin layout, there is no navigation bar, because inside admin layout we don't have that particular thing, that is header component which is available in default .view. I'm going to teach you how you can fetch some data from internet. So fetching data using API is one of the biggest part for building some front-end application like Vue.js or even Nuxtjs. So now the thing is, I just have to go to pages and I'll just create one file named github.view. So this file also will have template, and I'll just type a h1 github users, and I'll save it. Once I save it, I can directly go to /github, and immediately GitHub users will be displayed here, the title. Next what we can do is we can go to this script tag and add it. Also just make sure when you are adding script tag in Nuxtjs, just use it as setup. And I don't know if you guys knew this before, but if we go to api.github.com/users, we can see GitHub user details. This is like lots of users are available, their details we can see. What we can do is we can make API request to this particular URL using Nuxtjs project and display it in our GitHub users page. So this is simple API request. You might already know, or you might have already learnt it. If you didn't, we are going to display GitHub users in this particular page. So without delay, let's just go here and type const data is equal to use fetch. And in Nuxtjs, use fetch is auto imported, so you don't have to import it from somewhere. So I'll just paste this particular thing that mentions https://api.github.com/users. So now this data will contain all the user details which is available in this particular page. So I'll just rename this particular data to users. So now in order to display users or display one by one the data, I'll just create one div, and inside this particular div, I'll just use some Vue.js specific method to display the data, that is v_for. And inside v_for we can type user in users, and I can just type not h1, h2, and here I can type something like a user.login, and if I just save it and go here, we can clearly see all the users which are available in this particular page. And as we can see here, whatever the username is available, that is the login, that will be displayed in this particular page. We can even display something like p tag id is user.id. and if I just save it, it will display ID also. And regarding displaying the name, I think we can't display it if it's just doesn't exist. So we can do something like a user question mark dot name, and if I just save it, it will display name for whomever has the name. I don't think here people have name in this particular page, but if name exists, then we can display that also. So that's how you can fetch one simple data in this particular page. Also you can fetch single data also if you want. I'll just create another copy of this particular thing and name it something like GitHub user, and I'll just remove this particular v4, and here I can directly display the name of the user dot name, and in order to display it, we can do something like here instead of slash users, we can type user slash username. My username is Shenoy. So if you go to your GitHub account, you will also see your username, and here I can do something like data is user and save it. And if I just go to GitHub dash, what did I name it as, dash user, so dash user, and if we go here, it will display my name. So you can display more details also, something like user question mark dot blog, and if you see this here, it will display my website. And the thing is, if you go here and type something like Shenoy, it will display all the details which is available. So if I just want to select something like maybe bio, we can directly use that particular bio. So if I just press p tag and here user question mark dot bio, and if I save it, immediately it will display whatever the GitHub bio I have at the moment. We were able to fetch some data from GitHub, and we displayed it using some Vue.js mechanism, that is v4. We are going to learn one of the important feature you might need, that is learning to display something like a title in all the pages. So if I just go to home page here, you won't see any kind of title here. So if I just close all those things and see, there is localhost 3000, but I want to display something nice title. If we are in HTML, then we could have used something like a head tag, and we could have like put a title in there. But in Vue.js, there is one simple method which we can use, using which we'll be able to display head. So that would be again script setup we need to have, and after that use head, and inside use head we can put something like a title, and inside this particular title we can put home page, and if I save it and go here, it will display home page. So if I go to about page, here we can change something like use head, same way, and here we can change it to title about page. So as you can see, we can change the title of about page, and if I go to home page, it displays home page. So this is very useful feature. Use head, not only we can just add a title. If you want to add some script tag, you can do that also here. You can add something like a main.js or whatever the Google Analytics or something like that JS file which you might have to include. You can include in this particular thing. And also there are like lots of other options like something like a meta, and inside this meta we can do something like name can be something like okay, I can have to put comma. So here name we can do something like description, name as description, and content can be something like this website is about Nuxtjs. So if you add something like this, then search engine can pick this particular thing. So if I just right click and show you in the head, we can see clearly one description meta tag is added, which says this website is about Nuxtjs. So that's how you can work with the meta, and there are like lots of options which you can add here also. Just go to Nuxtjs documentation related to user head, and you can clearly see here all the other options which you can put, something like body attributes and script and lots of other options also available which you can use. I just taught you how you can use head in your Nuxtjs project. I'll be teaching you how you can work with the server routes. So I'll just close all the other things which is not required at the moment. So in this video, we are going to learn how we can use the server routes to display something. So I am in Nuxtjs.com. That's the documentation page. Here, if you go to docs, you'll be able to come to this particular page. And here I'll click on guide. And in this particular guide, there is something like directory structure. Inside this, all the files which are available can be displayed. So I'll just click on server folder. In this, they'll teach how we can use the server folder inside this particular Nuxtjs project. So in order to create one new server route, we can directly go inside server and inside this we can create one page named API, and inside this we can type something like user details.js, and inside this particular file we just need to copy this particular thing. That includes a export default define event handler, and once I copy it, it will display something like hello, but I'll just change it to this is from server. So I'll just save it, and we should rename this file to ts so that it will not give error. So once we go here and once we can go to API/user details, and here you can clearly see message this is from server is written. So now you might think, okay, I just created one new file and we are seeing this particular weird thing. The thing with this particular route is this is actually being served from the server. That means whatever the database related query and whatever the hidden secret and all those things which you can add, it won't be directly displayed. Whatever we send from this particular return, only that thing will be displayed. So we can always use this particular thing inside home page by going to pages, index page, and here I can type something like const data is equal to use fetch, and here if I just go to /API/user details, automatically I can get the data, and instead of data I'll just rename it to message, and here if I just go here and type message, it will display the message directly here. But at the moment I can directly remove this particular thing and type something like data.message, okay, so that this is from server is displayed. This go to about pages that NuxtLink, but I'm talking about this. I'll just put it inside p tag so that you can clearly see it. So here you can see this from server is displayed. That directly comes from this particular server page. Here you can do some kind of data fetching so that users will be able to get some data or maybe save some data to the database, and so that's how easy it is to create one server file in this particular Nuxtjs project. And once you created it, you can directly use it by using use fetch, and it has auto completion also, which will display whatever the file which is available inside API folder. So that's pretty much it for this video. You can create multiple things also inside here which can connect to database. Okay, so that now our project is ready. It's not that big project, but we have created pages, different pages, and we also created server route. So now we can release this project online. So how do we release it? We can release it by going to this particular website, that is Netlify. So if you go to netlify.com, you will be able to log in and create free account and release this project for free. But before that, we have to go to GitHub and try to get this particular project into GitHub repository. So that's why I said you to install git bash in the beginning of this particular series, saying you have to go to git.com and download this for your Windows. Mac OS and Linux has git pre-built, so you can use that particular thing also, else you can download that also. So once you go to github.com and create new file here, I mean new repository here you can give some kind of name here. I'll just create something like a hello world next would be fine, Nuxt. So I'll just make it as a public repository, and after that I can click on create repository and repository will be created. So after that I can just copy, before copying this particular thing, I'll just go to third tab in VS Code and click on initialize repository. This will work only if you have Git installed without Git being there, it won't work. So after that, I'll create one message saying website is ready, and commit it. Once I commit it, we'll be able to use the second command in here. I'll just copy it and I'll just paste it. So once I paste it, it's going to send all the code files into GitHub, and if I just refresh it here, it will display all the files in this particular page. But you might be asked for the password, and not just password, you have to configure another thing, that is how to set git username. Okay, so here you can see that how to set git username. So I'll just copy this particular thing and I'll paste it here. Once I paste it here, just make sure git config dash dash global user.name is your name. Don't enter here like whatever something else. Here write something. I would write something like Manjunath Shenoy. I already configured it, so I won't do it again. But you didn't configure it, so make sure you configure it. Then once name is set, you can set something like email, and you can set it to whatever the email address which you are having. Just set it something like at gmail.com or something like that. So once that's done, when you copy paste that particular command, that time it will just make sure it will ask you the password. Once you enter your GitHub password, you will be able to see the project being deployed in this particular page. After that, we can go to this particular Netlify and click on login. I'll click on login. You can click on sign up. Once your setup and all everything is done, we can go to here and click on add new site, import from an existing project. And here deploy with the GitHub, I'll click on it and it will ask me to log in using GitHub. I'm already logged in. So once that's done, we can search for something like hello world. And if you can't see it directly here, you can click on configure on GitHub and I'll just click on it. And you can select whatever the project which you are selecting. So once that configuration is done or your repository is public and you have given full access to your GitHub, you will be able to click on this particular project and everything will automatically come. Then after that you can click on deploy. So it will take some time for it to release online. So once it's released, you can click on this link and you can go to that particular website. Here you can see all the things which we did on locally here. So I can click on users and even the server route is coming properly. So if I just go to /API/user details, immediately it will show a message. This is from server. So Netlify lets you to do all those things. And also you can click on domain settings and rename this particular domain. So that I'll just change it to hello Nuxt Manjunath. So I'll just save it so that it works. And once that's done, you can copy this particular username and it's online, meaning you can send this particular link to anybody and they'll be able to see your project. And this is the Nuxtjs project which you have built. So here you can add more features as well as some styling and all, so that everything will be displayed nice and clean. Here I didn't do all those things, but you can do all the nice stylings and all. But I just taught you how we can use the Nuxtjs properly and even release it using Netlify. So that's it for this video series, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.